can you explain what it means to flatten the curve and how can it be practiced? And so flattening the curve really has to do, I don't have a graphic here to show, but it has to do with, in a pandemic, right? If we don't actually isolate and distance and reduce exposure, the amount of people who get sick and overwhelm the hospitals becomes so high that the hospitals don't even have capacity to manage those patients. And so while, yes, in countries like the United States, we like to tout the great healthcare that we have, a lot of our great healthcare is dependent on the fact that the majority of our population is healthy and don't require constant visits to the hospital. That's really why a great healthcare system works. But if something like a pandemic arises where, like I told you, 50 to 80% of us will be infected, and about a third of the people who are infected because of all of our underlying chronic illnesses will go on to have really bad COVID-19 disease requiring hospitalization. The worry is that the hospitals don't have capacity to hold all of those people, plus people who are sick from other things, from accidents, etc., if we don't actually start limiting people's exposure. So that's why we're asking people to stay home. We're asking you to stay home, one, so that you don't become infected, but also so that you're less likely to get into a car accident, less likely to get injured, needing to use up hospital beds. And so the whole goal is to flatten the curve, meaning you take it from a high curve, meaning a lot of people needing to be at the hospital, to a more manageable number that the hospital can tolerate. And so that's my take on flattening the curve. Dr. Rowe, would you like to add to that?
I think you said it perfectly.
Yeah, I think that's important. I apologize, you guys are hearing text. It's because on my computer here, my texts show up and everyone in my office is texting each other now to notify them about the school stuff. So I'm going to ask them to stop texting for a while. It keeps dinging, and that's my office dinging each other.